Have you ever driven across a border and wondered about the safety measures in place? On a chilly November morning in 2023, the usually bustling Rainbow Bridge border crossing, a gateway bridging the United States and Canada, was jolted with a shocking incident. A car, seemingly ordinary in the routine of border crossings, met a catastrophic fate. It crashed and in a blinding flash exploded, turning the picturesque Rainbow Bridge into a scene of chaos and confusion. The date was November 22nd, and the incident occurred at approximately 11:27 in the morning. As the smoke cleared and the initial shock subsided, the grim reality emerged. There were two individuals in the car, both of whom tragically lost their lives in the incident. The ramifications of the incident were immediate and far-reaching. The Rainbow Bridge, along with all other bridges in the vicinity, were promptly closed. The surrounding government buildings, usually humming with activity, were swiftly evacuated as a precautionary measure. A sense of fear and uncertainty hung in the air as the authorities scrambled to understand the nature of the incident. What was initially feared as a potential terrorist attack had everyone on high alert. An incident of this magnitude at such a critical location could not be taken lightly. The Federal Bureau of Investigation quickly stepped in, their agents working tirelessly to piece together the puzzle. However, as the investigation progressed, it became apparent that the incident was not as it initially seemed. The shadows of terrorism started to fade, replaced by a different narrative. The incident, as it turns out, was seemingly unrelated to any act of terrorism. This revelation, while bringing some relief, also raised many questions. If not an act of terrorism, then what led to this tragic event? What circumstances culminated in such a fatal incident at one of the busiest border crossings in North America? As we delve deeper into the story, we hope to unravel these questions and more. The incident was initially treated as a possible terrorist attack, but is now believed to be unrelated to terrorism. The FBI stepped in to investigate the explosion, but what did they find? As soon as the smoke cleared and the immediate danger was averted, the FBI was called upon to step in and take a closer look at the remnants of the incident. The first order of business was to establish the nature of the event. Was this an act of terrorism, or was it a horrific accident? The FBI's field office in Buffalo sprang into action, combing through every bit of evidence. As the investigation progressed, the pieces of the puzzle began to fall into place. The vehicle, a Bentley, had been traveling at high speed. It crashed into a curb and a guardrail, causing it to become airborne and crash into a secondary screening area. The two individuals in the car, a man and his wife, lost their lives in the incident. It was initially believed they were heading to a KISS concert in Canada, but their plans were thwarted when the concert was cancelled. Instead, they decided to try their luck at a casino in the US. The crash happened after they left the casino. As the agents sifted through the wreckage, they found no evidence of explosive materials. They also identified a subject of interest, but after some digging, they concluded that there was no further threat to the area. The FBI's conclusive assessment was that this incident was unrelated to terrorism. Despite the initial fears and the impact of the explosion, it appeared to be a tragic accident, a consequence of excessive speed and perhaps a moment's distraction. The investigation has now been turned over to the Niagara Falls Police Department as a traffic investigation. What do you think was going through the minds of the investigators as they pieced together this tragic puzzle? Share your thoughts in the comments below. The aftermath of the incident was felt far beyond the immediate area of the Rainbow Bridge. The shockwave of the explosion echoed through the community, not just in the physical sense, but in the impact it had on everyday life. At the heart of the chaos was the closure of all bridges in the vicinity. This included not only the Rainbow Bridge, but also the Lewiston-Queenston Whirlpool and the Peace Bridge. The sudden closure of these vital links between the United States and Canada caused significant disruption, with traffic rerouted and countless travellers left stranded, their plans abruptly halted. The ripple effects extended to local government buildings, which were swiftly evacuated as a precautionary measure. The sudden emptiness of these usually bustling hubs was a stark reminder of the seriousness of the situation. The sight of empty offices and council chambers, usually filled with the hum of civil service, was a sobering sight indeed. The incident led to a surge in security measures, not just at the borders, but also at airports and other key locations. Authorities were on high alert, with increased patrols and stringent checks becoming the order of the day. This heightened security was not limited to the immediate area, but was implemented across cities like Toronto and New York City. While the investigation was handed over to the Niagara Falls Police Department as a traffic investigation, the initial response by the FBI was instrumental in determining that the incident was not terrorism-related. This was a crucial piece of information that helped to quell the initial panic and speculation that had spread among the public. The Rainbow Bridge, which connects Niagara Falls, New York with Niagara Falls, Canada, was the center of this incident. It's a testament to the resilience of these communities that, despite the shock and disruption, they have come together in the face of adversity. The aftermath of this incident will be remembered, not for the chaos it caused, but for the strength and unity it inspired. 2 lives were lost in this tragic event, but who were they? The story of the victims in this incident is as heartbreaking as it is unexpected. We're talking about a man and his wife who were enjoying what should have been an ordinary day when tragedy struck. They were driving in their Bentley, a symbol of luxury and success. But on that fateful day, it became an instrument of their untimely demise. The couple had plans to attend a Kiss concert in Canada, a band known for their high-energy performances and dedicated fans. Music, the universal language that binds us all, was a shared passion of theirs. But fate had other plans. The concert was cancelled, a minor disappointment in what was supposed to be an enjoyable outing. Undeterred by the change in plans, the couple decided to visit a casino in the US. The lure of the lights, the thrill of the game, a chance to beat the odds. It was a tempting alternative. After the casino, they embarked on what was to be their last journey together. As they were traveling at high speed, their vehicle hit a curb and a guardrail. The impact sent the Bentley airborne, and it crashed into a secondary screening area. The crash was so severe that it resulted in an explosion, a fiery end to what started as a day of leisure. These are the victims of the Rainbow Bridge incident, a man and his wife whose lives were abruptly cut short in a devastating accident. Their story serves as a solemn reminder of the unpredictability of life and the fragility of our existence. As we delve deeper into this story, it's important to remember the human aspect behind the headlines. These were real people, with real lives, and their loss is felt by those who knew and loved them. Authorities are working to officially identify the driver due to the condition of the remains. As we wait for further details, our thoughts are with their families and friends during this difficult time. The leaders of both countries were briefed on the situation, but how did they respond? In the immediate aftermath of this shocking event, the leaders of both the United States and Canada were quickly informed of the situation. Their response was swift and unified, with a concerted effort to ensure the safety of their citizens and maintain calm in the face of uncertainty. The US Secretary of Homeland Security was among the first to react, confirming that the incident did not appear to be terror-related. This announcement was crucial in dispelling fears of a potential terrorist threat, helping to allay public anxiety amidst the chaotic unfolding events. But this was far from the end of the response. In light of the incident, increased security measures were swiftly implemented at airports and border crossings. These measures served as a precaution against any potential threats, reinforcing the commitment to public safety in both countries. In addition, increased patrols were seen on the streets of Toronto and New York City. The visibility of these patrols provided a reassuring presence for the public, a tangible demonstration of the authorities' dedication to maintaining order and security. This response was not just about immediate actions, but also about planning for the future. The incident at the Rainbow Bridge was a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance and preparedness. As such, both countries pledged to review their security measures and protocols to ensure they are robust enough to handle any potential incidents in the future. In the United States, President Joe Biden was briefed on the explosion, showing the high-level attention this incident commanded. Across the border, Canadian authorities also expressed their seriousness in addressing the incident. This collective response from the leaders of both nations underscores their commitment to safeguarding their citizens, their resolve to maintain public order, and their dedication to learning from this incident to prevent future occurrences. President Joe Biden was briefed on the explosion, and Canadian authorities are taking the incident seriously. The investigation into this tragic event continues. But what are investigators looking for? In the aftermath of such a catastrophic incident, the process of piecing together the puzzle is a meticulous and painstaking one. The extensive damage and debris left behind by the crash and subsequent explosion at the Rainbow Bridge has made the task of the investigators even more challenging. Every piece of metal, every fragment of glass, every trace of burnt rubber, all these need to be examined and catalogued. The goal is to reconstruct the scene, to understand the sequence of events leading up to the incident. Parallel to this physical reconstruction, investigators are also delving into the digital realm. They are combing through surveillance footage, cell phone records, and other electronic trails left by the victims. The aim is to create a timeline of events to track the movements of the victims before the crash. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has been at the forefront of this investigation. Early on, they ruled out any connection to terrorism. In fact, they found no evidence of a terrorism nexus or explosive materials at the scene. This was a vital piece of information, as it helped to calm public fears and allowed investigators to focus their efforts on other aspects of the case. As the investigation continues, the focus has shifted to the driver's actions prior to the crash. Was it a case of reckless driving, a medical emergency, or something else entirely? The answer to this question lies in the evidence, both physical and digital. One of the key pieces of evidence in this investigation is the video footage. Cameras from various angles captured the incident, providing investigators with a multi-dimensional view of the crash. This footage is currently being analyzed and cross-referenced with other pieces of evidence. The hope is that it will shed light on the moments leading up to the crash, providing valuable insights into the cause of this tragic incident. Video footage is being retrieved from various angles to aid in the investigation. This tragic event at the Rainbow Bridge has raised many questions about safety and security. A day that started like any other took a sudden and dramatic turn when a Bentley, travelling at high speed, crashed and exploded at the border checkpoint. This catastrophic event, resulting in the death of 2 individuals and injuries to a border officer and a civilian, sent shockwaves through both nations, the United States and Canada. The immediate aftermath saw all bridges in the area closed, government buildings evacuated, and an investigation launched, initially under the suspicion of a possible terrorist attack. However, as the investigation unfolded, it became clear that this was not an act of terrorism. The FBI found no evidence of a terrorism nexus or explosive materials at the scene. Instead, the investigation turned towards a traffic incident, as it was revealed that the vehicle had hit a curb and a guardrail, causing it to become airborne and crash into a secondary screening area. This incident has had a profound impact on the local and national level. It prompted an immediate response from local police agencies, Border Patrol, and the FBI. The governor closely monitored the situation, while President Joe Biden and Canadian authorities were briefed on the incident. In the wake of this event, we've seen heightened security measures implemented at airports, border crossings, and other locations. This has been a stark reminder of the importance of safety and security in our everyday lives. The Rainbow Bridge, a symbol of connection between 2 nations, became for a brief moment a site of tragedy. The investigation into this incident continues, led by the Niagara Falls Police Department. The process will undoubtedly take time, given the extensive damage and debris. Authorities are still working to identify the driver due to the condition of the remains. But the FBI does not believe the driver was involved in any nefarious activities. As we continue to learn more about this incident, it's a stark reminder of the unpredictability of life. The Rainbow Bridge incident serves as a testament to the fragility of life and the importance of safety measures. It's a story of an ordinary day turned extraordinary, a story of tragedy, response and resilience. Now, we turn to you. What are your thoughts on this incident? How do you think such incidents can be prevented in the future? What kind of additional safety measures should be implemented at border crossings? Share your views in the comments below.